How do you match up against Joe Biden?
I think I'd match up great. I'm a job producer. I've had a great record. I haven't been involved in plagiarism. I think I would match up very well against Biden.
March 30th, 1981.
Mr. President!
John Hinckley Jr. fires 6 shots at President Ronald Reagan. A bullet lodges an inch away from his heart. Reagan is rushed into the operating room and tells his doctors, "I hope you're all Republicans."
Yeah, and we had classic Joe Biden out here, Mike. He was friendly, he was engaging, joking at the Beyond Image Barber Salon here in Camp Washington behind me as he sat in the chair for a quick trim. I hope the guy with the scissors is a Democrat.
Reagan is rushed into the operating room and tells his doctors, "I hope you're all Republicans."
As he sat in the chair for a quick trim, I hope the guy with the scissors is a Democrat.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
And I truly think that if we do this right, we have an incredible opportunity to not just dig out of this crisis, but to fundamentally transform the country.
Fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
But to fundamentally transform the country.
And quite frankly, when I look at their plan that talks about advancing testing, creating new PPE, developing a vaccine, it looks a little bit like plagiarism, which is something Joe Biden knows a little bit about. And I think the American people know that this is a president who has put the health of America first, and the American people, I believe with my heart, can be proud of the sacrifices they have made. It's saved countless American lives.
Joe Biden has put out a climate change proposal, what he would do to combat climate change should he get elected as president of the United States. Now, in a previous video, we talked about the specifics, but for the purposes of this story, we're going to focus on some of the controversy that's starting to brew about his proposal. According to reports, at least 3 instances in this proposal show that Biden's plan appears to directly copy language from letters and websites for other climate change advocacy organizations. This is a little bit of a disaster because Biden actually ran for president back in 1988, and plagiarism is what destroyed that campaign. It was over. And so this issue is coming back again. Not old instances of plagiarism from like literally today when this proposal was put out to the public.
Now, on the political scene, one of the Democratic candidates is Senator Joseph Biden. Have you seen the problem he's been having? He went around and made a speech. And apparently, he quoted I think it was a British politician, took his speech and kind of paraphrased it as his own.
Now to the controversy that has suddenly erupted around the Democratic presidential candidate Joseph Biden, the charge that he has plagiarized parts of his speeches. Today, Biden was forced to take time out from his Judiciary Committee duties to hold a press conference to answer 2 charges: that he copied part of a paper when in law school, and recently adopted as his own quotations from the Kennedys and other politicians. The story surfaced last weekend when the New York Times compared a Biden conclusion in a debate in Iowa to a well-received speech delivered last year by British Labour Party leader Neal Kinnock.
Why am I the first Kinnock in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
Why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university?
Why is Glenys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Was it because all our predecessors were thick?
Is it because our fathers and mothers were not bright?
Today, Biden moved to confront the controversy that faces his presidential campaign. Jeff Goldman reports.
Reporters packed a Capitol Hill news conference to hear Senator Biden's response to the plagiarism allegations. He was asked if he indeed studied the Kinnock videotape.
The answer is yes. I looked at that tape. I was moved by that tape. We sat down, I turned it on, I said, my Lord, look at this guy. Look at what he is expressing here. And I looked at it once and I didn't have to look at it again.
A third charge leveled against Biden alleged that as a first-year law student at Syracuse University, he plagiarized a law review article in a legal brief prepared for class.
I wrote a 2-page letter explaining why I had been so stupid, but that I did not intentionally move to mislead anybody. I didn't.
Biden was then asked what effect these allegations would have on his presidential campaign.
I don't think it will have any effect, but I don't know. You all will make the judgment about that. It'll all depend on how you write it. I don't mean that. I'm not being smart. It'll all depend on the American people looking at me. They're going to look at me and say, is Joe Biden being honest with me? Or is Joe Biden not being honest with me?
We owe it to future generations to build back better.
We have a great opportunity to build back and build back better.
To do things differently, to build back better, to build back bolder.
And folks, it's not sufficient to build back. We have to build back better. That's what my plan is, to build back better. As bold.
And then the press got on him, and then he was charged also with taking part of Bobby Kennedy's speeches. And Biden says, not to worry, he reassured his staff. He said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself.